90% of top performers share one trait. It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not even hard work. What they have is something you cannot buy, but you can build. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to develop this invisible advantage that separates extraordinary leaders from everyone else. In 1995, psychologist Daniel Goleman published a book that would fundamentally reshape how we understand success. The book was called Emotional Intelligence, and it made a claim so bold that the scientific community initially dismissed it. Goleman argued that your emotional quotient, your EQ, matters more than your IQ when it comes to life success. But here is where it gets fascinating. He did not just theorize this. He proved it. Studies following thousands of people across decades showed that those with high emotional intelligence earned an average of $29,000 more annually than their lower EQ counterparts. But that raises an uncomfortable question. If emotional intelligence is so valuable, why do most people have almost no idea what their emotional intelligence actually is? And more importantly, why are the smartest people often the most emotionally blind? Here is the uncomfortable truth that Goleman discovered. Most people operate with a massive blind spot. They think they know themselves. They are convinced they understand how others perceive them. But research reveals that only 10 to 15% of people are actually self-aware. Let that sink in. 85% of humans are walking around with a fundamentally distorted view of who they are. Goleman calls this the mirror phenomenon. We look at ourselves, but we do not see what is actually there. We see what we expect to see, what we want to see, and this creates a devastating gap between who we think we are and who we actually are. The executives who believe they are inspiring, their teams often find them exhausting. The managers who think they are excellent listeners, they interrupt constantly. If this insight resonates with you, hit that like button, because what comes next explains exactly why this happens. But let us look at this from a different angle. Goleman identified that emotional intelligence is not just one thing. It is 4 interconnected quadrants that form a complete picture of human capability. The first is self-awareness, knowing your emotions as they happen, understanding your triggers, your patterns, your authentic strengths and weaknesses. The second is self-management, the ability to regulate those emotions rather than being hijacked by them. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever sent an email in anger that you deeply regretted? That is a self-management failure. The third quadrant is social awareness, reading the room, understanding what others are feeling even when they do not say it directly. And the fourth is relationship management, using all of the above to navigate complex human dynamics. Here is what nobody expected. These 4 quadrants are not equally important. One of them is the foundation that makes all the others possible. Self-awareness is the master key. Without it, the other 3 quadrants cannot function. Think of it like trying to fix a car when you cannot even see the engine. Goleman found that leaders with high self-awareness made better decisions under pressure. They built stronger teams. They earned more trust. And crucially, they were more resilient when things went wrong. Because when you truly know yourself, criticism does not destroy you. It informs you. But here is where it gets complicated. Self-awareness has 2 distinct types. Internal self-awareness means understanding your own values, passions, aspirations, and how you impact others. External self-awareness means understanding how other people actually see you. And research from organizational psychologist Tasha Eurich revealed something shocking. There is virtually no correlation between the 2. You can be deeply introspective and still completely wrong about how others perceive you. And this is where everything I have told you takes a dramatic turn. Because most self-improvement advice tells you to look inward, journal more, meditate, reflect on your feelings. But Goleman and Eurich discovered that excessive introspection can actually make you less self-aware, not more. Here's why. When we ask ourselves why we feel a certain way, our brains do not search for truth. They search for the easiest, most comfortable answer. We create stories that protect our ego rather than reveal our reality. The people with the highest self-awareness do something completely different. They do not ask why. They ask what. What am I feeling right now? What situations trigger this response? What patterns keep showing up in my life? This simple shift from why to what changes everything. If you want to see how to actually apply this, make sure you are subscribed, because the next insight builds on this foundation. Now let me show you the competitive advantage this creates in the real world. A study published in Harvard Business Review analyzed thousands of leaders across industries. They found that teams with emotionally intelligent leaders had 34% higher engagement. Their employees were less likely to leave. And here is the number that should make every ambitious person pay attention. Companies with emotionally intelligent leadership showed 20% higher profitability than their competitors. But the real power comes from something less measurable. When you develop genuine self-awareness, you stop competing on the wrong metrics. Most people exhaust themselves trying to improve weaknesses that do not matter while ignoring strengths that could transform their careers. Self-aware individuals focus their energy strategically. They delegate their weaknesses. They double down on what makes them uniquely valuable. And this creates an almost unfair advantage. Drop your prediction in the comments. Do you think most people overestimate or underestimate their own emotional intelligence? So here is the question that matters most. How do you actually develop this? Goleman outlines a framework that works. First, seek honest feedback from people who will tell you the truth, not friends who protect your feelings. Find colleagues, mentors, or coaches who will hold up an accurate mirror. Second, practice mindful observation. Not meditation necessarily, but simply noticing your emotional responses without immediately reacting. When you feel anger rising, pause. Label it. Understand what triggered it before you act on it. Third, create feedback loops. After important interactions, ask yourself what questions. What went well? What could I have done differently? What did I miss? And fourth, study your impact. Pay attention to how people respond to you. Do they open up or shut down? Do they seek you out or avoid you? Their behavior is data about your emotional intelligence. This is the framework. But there is one more piece that ties everything together. The insight that separates good leaders from great ones is this. Emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait. It is a practice. The research is clear. Unlike IQ, which remains relatively stable throughout life, emotional intelligence can be developed at any age. Your brain possesses neuroplasticity. The pathways that govern emotional regulation, empathy, and self-awareness can be strengthened like muscles. But here is what most people miss. This development requires discomfort. Every time you receive difficult feedback and do not become defensive, you grow. Every time you pause before reacting, you grow. Every time you genuinely try to understand someone who sees the world differently, you grow. The mirror phenomenon works both ways. When you commit to seeing yourself clearly, you also begin seeing others clearly. And that changes every relationship in your life. Personal, professional, everything. Let me put this in perspective with something Goleman emphasizes throughout his work. The people who rise to the top of any field rarely get there on technical skills alone. Technical skills are the entry requirement. Emotional intelligence is what determines how far you go once you are in the room. Think about the leaders you admire most. Chances are, they possess an unusual ability to make you feel seen. They understand what you need before you articulate it. They navigate conflict without leaving destruction behind. This is not charisma. This is emotional intelligence in action. And the beautiful truth is that every single one of those abilities started as something they were bad at. They simply chose to practice. They chose discomfort over delusion. They chose the mirror over the blindfold. And that choice is available to you right now, today, in your next conversation. So what does all of this mean for you specifically? Whether you are leading a team of hundreds or simply trying to navigate your own career, the principles remain the same. Start by committing to external feedback. Find 3 people who will tell you the truth about how you show up. Ask them directly, what do I do that helps you? What do I do that makes things harder? Then practice the what questions in your daily life. When you feel frustrated in a meeting, ask yourself what triggered this. When a relationship feels strained, ask what am I contributing to this dynamic? Finally, remember that emotional intelligence is not about becoming someone different. It is about becoming more fully yourself. When you strip away the defensive patterns, the ego protection, the comfortable delusions, what remains is your authentic self. And that self is far more powerful than any mask you have been wearing. Daniel Goleman gave us a roadmap for something that was always within reach. The mirror phenomenon is not a curse. It is an invitation. An invitation to stop living in comfortable ignorance about who you are. An invitation to do the difficult work of genuine self-examination. And an invitation to reap the extraordinary rewards that come to those who dare to truly know themselves. The leaders who change the world are not necessarily smarter. They are more aware. They see themselves clearly. They see others compassionately, and they bridge the gap between intention and impact. That capability is not reserved for the gifted few. It is available to anyone willing to ask the uncomfortable questions, hear the difficult answers, and commit to growth over comfort. Now you have the framework. The question is, what will you do with it? Now you understand why emotional intelligence is the ultimate competitive advantage. You have the framework from Daniel Goleman. You know what questions to ask, and you know that self-awareness is a practice, not a trait. If this video helped you see yourself or others differently, subscribe for weekly book wisdom distilled. We read so you can learn. What area of emotional intelligence will you focus on first? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if someone in your life needs this insight, share this video with them. Until next time, keep looking in the mirror. The truth there will set you free.